URC, folks, round number 10. Ospreys taking on Benetton. I will be the first to admit, I saw the lineups. So many international guys being out for both sides, and I figured it's probably not going to be the best game. Then the Ospreys put in their best performance I have seen in a bloody long time. I mean, Benetton, as I mentioned, missing a fair few guys. But the Ospreys did incredibly well. They played some really fun attacking rugby. Hopefully this is the kind of result that'll put a few more bums on the seats the next time they play. Although they've got Leinster next, so maybe not. But wow, 43-0. That is quite a performance. Big old win for them. We'll go through some of the key events and the stats, and you guys can let us know your thoughts on how this game went, as we are not too far away from the Six Nations. So, yeah, Gajo looked to have got the first try for Benetton. It looked like it was going to be, the Benetton guys who've got a fair few Argentinian internationals in their lineup, and it looks like the loose head Gajo had gone over after they had decided not to opt for 3 points, but they would go for touch to try and turn the screws on the Ospreys guys. But the try got TMO'd, as they said there was no press on the ground. Was touch and go, but they went with the no press call against Benetton. That was as close as Benetton got to scoring the entire game, because from there they get nilled. Ospreys scored their first try of many. Walsh was the guy to finish it off, but it started with the South African boss off with a nice carry in the midfield. Speaking of Argentinian internationals, Thomas Albanaz won't be happy because he got fended off by Bossoff. That made the half gap. Then it was Morgan Williams to Walsh. 7 points to 0 for the Ospreys lads. And they were playing some bloody fun rugby, like own 22, cross-field kick stuff. And then that kind of got them some territory. And only a few minutes later, they get 3 points because there's a penalty conceded by the Benetton lads. They probably could have had a try. It looked like the loose head Phillips could have gone over, but he opted just to kind of recycle the ball. Sometimes it is better to show that bit of caution rather than go for the glory, but they ended up getting 3. So 10 points to 0 in the first 10 odd minutes. Given that they could have had a try to Benetton through Gajo, it's not a bad start for the Ospreys. The crowd is not big, but that at least gets them into the game. And then we get the second try of the game. And it's Keelan Giles. Good to see that guy seemingly running at full tilt once again. Gets a half break. Then Tipperick in the midfield also putting in a kind of wee half break of his own with a nice fend. And then that man, Kasende, is able to finish. 17 points to 0. It seems to be going pretty much all right for the Ospreys. It gets better because they get a third one not long later. And it's just great to see them playing quick ball. Like the third try was just relentless, not opting for a 3, showing a bit of confidence, going through a bunch of phases in the Benetton 22, and Kieran Williams able to go over for their third. So 28 minutes in, we're 1 away from a bonus point, and just quick recycled ball is hard to stop, no matter which team's doing it. So I'm kind of a stunned Kiwi sitting here in summer as the rain starts to come down, but just watching the Ospreys play some of the best rugby I've seen from them in ages. Last few minutes of the first half, it is Benetton who are able to put on a bit of pressure. They get a scrum penalty, but then like Tipperick's able to win a turnover. He ends up getting man of the match. He was rolling back the clock as well. Ospreys did kick it out on the full, which kept them under a bit of pressure. And then Izikor had their second best chance, Benetton, of probably the entire game to score. When the Ospreys had the ball and it just kind of bobbled out of a ruck, he swooped on it. Good reaction time from him. Straight through the Ospreys before they had time to react. Hot knife through butter stuff. But then the hooker, Lewis Lloyd, is able to somehow bring him down as he's running at full tilt. So, absolute try saver. I think he hurt himself because I don't think he came back on. That was pretty much half time, but I don't think he came back on at the start of the second half. But yeah, desperation stuff from the Ospreys. Go into the sheds with a solid lead. 3 tries, chasing a bonus point potentially. But yeah, unexpected first half. Ospreys have had 60% of the ball. Territory's more even, but they've had more than 100 more metres, 247 to 137. They've had 3 clean breaks to 2, 6 turnovers, 1 to 2. And 2 of those 6 turnovers for the Ospreys are Justin Tipperick. He has been pretty immense. Now, the rain really does start to piddle down in the second half, so there's a little bit less in terms of the highlights, I would say. Highlight of the first 10 minutes of the second half is probably a Justin Tipperick big kick through, as he is like to do sometimes. Then he got pinged not too long later for kind of coming in and escalating a wee kind of handbags situation, but then he immediately won a turnover at the resulting maul as Benetton had gone for touch, so he gave one away and then got one back. Benetton did have a lot more ball, but with the rain, Ospreys were able to kind of soak up their attacks and just wait for Benetton to make handling errors, to be fair. And then on 63 minutes, after not having that many attacking chances, first real attacking chance, Ospreys swoop to get the bonus point try, and it's some good hands in the rain, including like some of the front rowers, the guys with the low numbers, able to kind of keep the ball moving. Boshoff and then Walsh is able to finish 31-0. That's game for sure. That's the bonus point secured. And they weren't done. They had a 5-metre scrum on 74 minutes. Morgan Morse was able to power over, having come off the bench. Really good, but kind of soft from Benetton by this point, to be honest. That made it 36-0. And then an Ospreys 50-22 with the clock almost in the red. One more chance. Kasende with a big carry, and then Kieran Hardy with the snipe. 43-0. So the few Ospreys fans that did get out there to attend will go home mighty happy, albeit a bit wet. You could see people heading under the covers as the weather started to, well, the stands, the people sitting closer to the ground, not under cover, headed back under cover. But yeah, 43-0. I think they said in the post-match it was the biggest win for the Ospreys in the league in 7 years. So that's hopefully a pretty meaningful one, man, because like I said, I was expecting a bit of drudgery, but I was thoroughly entertained by the Ospreys just unleashing. It was pleasing. Sucks for Benetton, but man, I'm just pleased because I don't know, there's so many negative news stories about Welsh rugby, but this is a proper positive. Love it. Possession finishes 59-41. That is to the Ospreys. The territory is still pretty even, 48-52 by full time. Benetton edge it, but there's very little in it. Run meters is 400 to 248 to the Ospreys. Defenders beaten 24-15 to the Ospreys. Clean break 6-3 to the Ospreys. Turnovers 1-9-3 to the Ospreys. So many key stats going their way. Well reflective of a deserved win. Halafihi for Benetton made 21 tackles. Kieran Williams made 14, plus 2 turnovers, 1, plus 4 defenders beaten, plus a try. Good shift from him. Morgan Morris had 10 carries. Keelan Giles had 78 metres. So, yeah, some pleasing stuff. Not going to be the biggest draw in terms of like viewership and whatnot, but I do hope this is a good news story for Welsh rugby going forward, and hopefully the Ospreys can kick on, because this will be certainly a big confidence booster. Commentators were loving it. They are at home to Leinster when the URC gets back underway mid-February. That'll be tough. Benetton are home to Ulster, and we'll be looking for a big turnaround because, yeah, a bit disappointing. The handling and whatnot just wasn't there, and towards the end you feel like they kind of gave up a wee bit, but hey, we'll see how things go for the remainder of the season. You guys can let us know your thoughts on the game. Subscribe to the channel if you want more rugby stuff, because that'll be coming. And I'll talk to you guys again soon. See you later.